Situation is tense at the India-Myanmar border in Moreh, with a structure suspected to be Myanmar army post near the border reportedly burned down by angry protesters agitating against the killing of two Tamil residents of Moreh yesterday. In the wake of the situation, police commandos and Assam Rifles personnel have rushed to the border area to bring things under control. Well, reports are also coming in that some unidentified elements fired at least 6 rounds at the border from Myanmar side, leading to minor injuries to 2 civilians who were rushed to Moreh Hospital for treatment. And earlier in the morning, a massive protest broke out in front of Moreh police station in Nopal district over the killing of 2 Tamil youths from Moreh at Tamu in Myanmar. The protesters are demanding the handing over of bodies by Myanmar authorities to India. Though the mortal remains were supposed to be handed over today, but there has been no response from Myanmar authorities so far, sources said. So as you can see on your screens, well, situation extremely volatile at Indo-Myanmar border in Manipur's Moreh, as protesters, you can see, reportedly set Myanmar army post on fire. All right, now I'm being joined live with our editor-in-chief, Wasbir Hussain. So Wasbir, these visuals speaks for themselves, where situation extremely volatile at the Indo-Myanmar border in Manipur's Moreh.
Well, yes, Priya, the situation is tense at the border. Moreh is India's last border outpost along the border with Myanmar. It's a porous border, as we all know. There is tension after 2 youths, both Tamil origin, who are residents of Moreh, P. Mohan, 28-year-old, and M. Pianar, 32-year-old, that crossed over into Tamu, which is the nearest town on the border with India. That's Tamu is in Myanmar. They had crossed over into Tamu and they were shot dead by a militia backed by the military junta in Myanmar. The militia group is called Pew Sao T. Pew Sao T is a militia that is being backed by the Myanmar military. Apparently, members of this militia, Pew Sao T, shot dead P. Mohan, 28, and M. Pianar, 32, both residents of Moreh, and both are of Tamil origin. They were shot dead from point-blank range. That's what reports are saying. So after they were shot dead, that happened yesterday. The bodies have not yet been handed over to the Indian authorities. We have been speaking speaking. Northeast Live have been speaking to officials along the border on the Indian side, and they're saying the connectivity is extremely poor, and that is the reason they are finding it hard to connect with their counterparts in Myanmar, and they are still awaiting the bodies. Bodies of these two youths who were shot dead inside Myanmar's Tamu township yesterday, they have not yet been handed over to the Indian authorities. Now, the situation obviously is extremely volatile. There were a lot of violence along the border. There were some some security posts have been also attacked and set ablaze by an angry mob. That's right on the border. So these were the visuals are showing at least one of them what looks like a bunker post with sandbags put in front of it. So that is one of the points of attack, one of the targets of attack by an angry mob. And apparently there was some intermittent firing from the Myanmar side. That's what also we are hearing. The authorities are tight-lipped because it's an issue concerning concerning a foreign neighbor, and that is the reason why the authorities are very tight-lipped in saying. So we get to understand that the Ministry of External Affairs is in touch with the authorities in Myanmar through diplomatic channels. That's what we are getting to know. The Indian mission in Naypyidaw, the Indian mission is also fully briefed or seized of the matter. They are also talking to their counterparts, and the main flashpoint is over the non-return of the bodies. More than almost 48 hours since the incident has taken place, and the bodies have not yet been handed over. Of course, that is one of the reasons why the people in Moreh are angry. Moreh is the last, as we know, is the last border post, and it's an extremely charged kind of a place with the composition is a mix of Tamil expatriates. Then there were Tamils who were in Myanmar, they have come back, and the expats who had come back and now settled in Moreh. There were the local people, and so on and so forth. There were a lot of Sikhs. And this is not the first time that such an incident has happened. In February 2014, a group of Sikh people, they had Punjabis, they had crossed over into Tamu. 4 of them returned and 2 of them did not return. This was in February 2014, and the whereabouts of these 2 people have not been known yet. So there are instances of this kind of incidents happening because the law and order inside Myanmar in the Tamu region is extremely poor, I would say. And now after the February 1 coup, where the military junta had taken over power after overthrowing the democratically elected government of Aung San Suu Kyi, after that Myanmar is in doldrums because there has been constant gun battles between the Myanmar military on the one side and the pro-democracy agitators on the other, and that is the reason why Myanmar military has backed several militias to fight on its behalf. So the situation is extremely tense and volatile at this point in time, particularly because the 2 bodies have not been handed over yet. The bodies of P. Mohan, 28, and M. Pianar, 32, both residents of Moreh.
Right, was you have very rightly mentioned, and we're also getting reports that the locals from that area, from Moreh, they are demanding to hand over the bodies of the 2 youths as soon as possible.
Absolutely, that is the demand. That is the demand that these 2 youths, innocent youths who had crossed over, and no one can actually cross over there without permission. There is some kind of a pass because you are allowed access 20 kilometers on either side. That is what we are getting to know, and you just have to obtain a pass from the border guards located along the border. So these 2 youths apparently had gone inside to meet some friends, as reports are telling us, as local residents are telling us. They have obtained due passes from the border guards, and they had gone into Tamu, which is a bustling township, and they never returned because they were shot dead at point blank range. The visuals of them lying on the streets in Tamu were extremely disturbing, and that is what has agitated the people on the Indian side, that is in Tamu, who are demanding the immediate handing over of the bodies, and that is what has not happened, and therefore the unrest in Tamu. Now the authorities in Tamu, the civil authorities in Tengnoupal district under which Moreh falls, they are saying that the situation is absolutely normal. There is no prohibitory orders in place, there is no curfew in place, there is no section 144 clamped, so there is no prohibitory orders and the situation is normal. That's what the authorities are claiming. But we have seen visuals earlier in the day where the people were extremely agitated and turning their ire on the nearby Myanmar post right along the border with India. And what we have seen is that it's an unfenced area, extremely porous, where people can just crisscross into each other's territory, Priya.
All right, Wasbir, thank you so much for all those details.
Tamu, tahu ni tamasa tahu berani.